name of this presentation is called The Return of the Emerald Order. In this presentation, it's my intention that when you walk out that door, you're going, come on in, you're going to understand what Indigo children are, who they are, how they differ from other people, and the different qualities that each Indigo child possesses. And you'll understand why it's called The Return of the Emerald Order. Can you put on the phone home? Has everybody in this room done the dial-up sequence? No? The phone home, you were in the last class, so you did that, right? Okay, so why don't we just take a minute and just reconnect with our shields, okay? And then we're going to sing the Maharata, the Song of Lyra, and then we'll continue with the presentation, since we've already dialed up and phoned home. Okay, my singer is not here, so excuse my voice. Okay, so just take a few minutes and close your eyes. And slow your breathing just a little bit. And picture your Maharic shield 12 inches beneath your feet. And breathe in that frequency. It's a pale silver frequency. Maybe it's got some colors of the Kirashe, some rainbow light in it. Breathe that frequency in and allow it to expand around you like a pillar. And be mindful that this actually goes from the earth core all the way up to wherever you want to send it out in space. And it's your pillar of protection. Okay. And we're going to sing the Song of Lyra, which will actually enhance that pillar. What is that? No, it's the prelude. It's somebody's cell phone. Does everybody have their cell phones turned off? Okay. Is that your cell phone in the black bag over there? I would take that. That would be a yes. That's right. Okay, so Melissa, we were just connecting with our Maharic shields since most everybody here has done the priming sequence. If they haven't done it here, they've done it, they're current with it, correct? Okay, so you're the singer. You have not done it? You were in here just an hour or so ago. Okay, let's phone home. Okay, so we're going to phone home. Can you put the phone home slide up there? That's it, right there. Okay. All right, it's kind of... Okay, so we'll just repeat this. In the name of the Melchizedek Cloister, Emerald Order, Holy Order of the Unisai, Sacred House of One.
Okay, that's all joined together. Maharata kumbai vectus ashulanta shaleatu in evo kayunibli umbai vectai maha vectai unure onamor iste unte isatrasha hehera patate uma ashelam tadeja intatawe Shaddai akamtan akamtan Shaddai akamtan akamtan Shaddai akamtan
Ma'a hawete un ise eshadur Ma'a hawete un ise eshadur. Ma'a hawete un ise eshadur. Le'etore ithwa duete niwa. Le'etore ithwa duete niwa. Le'etore ithwa duete niwa. I am the Adondra 360. I am the Adandra 360. I am the Adandra 360. Adandra yesta utshiwa edene. Adandra yesta utshiwa edene. Adandra yesta utshiwa edene. Ta esha inta dore. Ta esha inta dore. Ta esha inta dore. Okay, so we're all current with that, and we can put the Am I an Indigo? Okay, most people that are here today have entertained this question at least once, if not more times. So there are some questions that you can entertain as to whether or not you're an indigo child. One of the things that I find, you need something? Okay, is that indigo children, they come in with more DNA, which means they have more sensitivity. So if you were, maybe as a child or maybe as an adult, experiencing environmental sensitivities or sensitivities to overstimulation, too much light, too much sound, too much electromagnetic frequencies, the smells bother you, anything like that, these are sensory perceptions that indigo children have that are stronger than the average person would experience. Or sometimes you feel like an outcast of society because you're trying to fit a mold, or people want you to fit a mold that you don't fit into. The average society has a mold that the indigo children do not fit into. We come from a completely different place with a completely different mold and a higher strand content that the human template can't handle. Okay, so sometimes as indigo children you tend to sense things that others do not. You have intuition, or you have telepathy, or you have telekinesis. And not everybody experiences this. Sometimes you just know that you're different, or you have an inner knowing that there is something wrong with the way the society works. You look around and it's not a well society because you have, as an indigo child, open connection to your higher parts. And you know, you've been to places in your consciousness where it works differently than it works here. So that's another thing. You just have this inner knowing that there's something more to the picture than what you see here. There's a lot more to the picture than what you see here, which is what you'll find out today. And one more. There's another way you can tell if you're an indigo child, and this is a specific type of indigo child, and it's called the Indigo 3. And that's if you're experiencing attention deficit disorder or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which are the Indigo 3s, which we will cover in detail as we go through this presentation. Okay, so if you ask yourself this question, am I an indigo child, the fact that you're even here, in this room, listening to frequency that comes through on the 6-dimensional frequency band, is a pretty good indication you have some indigo coding within you, or you wouldn't even be here. You wouldn't even be drawn to this information if you didn't have that active 6th strand of DNA. Okay. Thanks. Okay. So the gifting of the indigo children. Indigos are bringing back the 12-strand DNA template potential for ascension. What does that mean? Most of the angelic humans, their template is a 12-strand DNA template. Right now we have 3 dimensions of consciousness that we are actively embodying. And they bring the implied message of our race evolutionary acceleration because we only have 3 strands active, and they're reinstating that 12-strand pattern, which means we are going to evolve to embody more dimensions of consciousness. Okay, the indigos are bringing back our heritage and the knowledge of ascension mechanics. Well, that's pretty easy when we have Melchizedek Cloister Emerald Order speakers that are indigos, and they are definitely bringing back the knowledge of our stellar heritage and showing us how to move into the ascension process with grace. That's the way it started anyway, gracefully. And indigos are here to assist the planet and humanity through the stellar activation cycle to prevent pole shift. The Indigo 1s come in with the highest strand template, and they can pull very, very pure frequencies from the Akkadic level, and they bring those frequencies in, and they are here specifically to prevent pole shift. Okay, we can move to the next one. Okay, this is a conceptualization of the Indigo shield. And the Indigo shield is how, even though we're miles away or worlds apart, it's how we feel and sense each other. Okay? It's like when we have a group of our indigos who go away on a planetary shields clinic and you stay home and you hold the grids in your own space, you can still feel and you can still receive that frequency. If you are in your own home grids or wherever you happen to be at that time, and you are maintaining your own field integrity, you are going to be able to anchor that new level of frequency that's coming through the grids. Okay? We're going a little fast because we have an awesome meditation that I want to make sure I get into. Okay, this is a frequency downstep process. You can see these 3 flames up here are representative of speakers 1, 2, and 3. They each have a specific contract to hold a certain flame. Okay, so they're called our flame holders. We have speaker 1 who holds the acatic, and that's Asha or Asha, I'm not sure exactly how she pronounces that. Speaker 2 is holding the polaric, and that's Aza, and speaker 3 is holding the triadic, okay, and that would be Mac. So what happens is these speakers, during a stellar activation cycle, they begin to draw these primal frequencies into their DNA template, and they transmute and they downstep it, which means that they create the pulse as a slower moving current. In other words, it comes through really, really fast, and they downstep it so it goes a little bit slower, and then it goes into the shield here of the flame keepers. And the flame keepers basically do the same thing. They transduce it and they downstep it. They send the frequencies into the indigo shield, who then sends the frequencies into the planetary grids, which makes it available for the planetary life field, everyone on the planet, all life forms. Okay, I went ahead of myself here. Oh, yeah, well, we've all seen this one, right? We're going to look at it a little differently today. Basically, you have your 5 harmonics of time, harmonic universe 1 through 5. And each harmonic universe represents a 3-dimensional reality field, okay? And you have a 3-dimensional identity in each harmonic of time. But if we're here and we're talking about indigo children, we want to know, in harmonic 2 and harmonic universe 3, this is where we have our extraterrestrial consciousness. And you'll understand why as we go through this presentation, why that's important to know. And as we get up to harmonic universe 4, that is our meta-terrestrial level of consciousness, as well as harmonic 5. And the ultra-terrestrial level of consciousness is out here in the energy matrix. This is where your indigo 1s are coming from. Okay. All right. This is just another way to show you how consciousness downsteps itself into smaller waveforms. Remember I said we had a different 3-dimensional identity at each harmonic of time? We have, up in the energy matrix, it's also called the primal sound fields, or the Kundalini. This is where we have our ascended master identity, your pure consciousness at that level. There is no dimensionalization. As you move down and you downstep, your frequency moves into smaller waveforms, we move into what is called the Rishi identity at harmonic universe 5. And this is where the Ki Rishi primal light fields are. This is where you'll find your indigo 2 coding. All right. As we move down here to our pre-matter hydroplasm biology of harmonic universe 4, that's our Christos level of identity. That's where the original pattern is held intact and undistorted of who we are and what our intentions were when we came into this reality system. And so then it downsteps into smaller consciousness waveforms into etheric matter biology, where we have our oversoul identity, and then that downsteps into slower waveforms and comes down into semi-etheric biology, and this is where we have our soul identity. And then we have us in, actually it's called gross matter biology. I just prefer to call it the incarnate identity. Okay, so we can move on, please. Okay, this is the fire letters. Okay. The fire letters, there's 12 primary fire letters for each strand of DNA. Okay? This represents a strand of DNA, each one of those lines, or a level of consciousness. So we have 12 primary fire letters, but we have 12 fire letters to each strand of DNA. Now, if you go up to your avatar identity level where you know you have your imprint intact, you have 12 dimensions of consciousness at that level, and you have 12 fire letters, so the correct imprint for health holds 144 fire letters. Okay? That's the angelic human imprint. If you're an indigo 2, you double that. That would be 288 fire letters. And these fire letters are actually codes of ascension that allow you to transmute your biology and get out of time. Okay, I think we can move on to that. Next one. Okay. So the 12-strand DNA pattern is also called the silicate matrix. It's also called the crystal gene. And the original human DNA was designed to hold 12 dimensions of consciousness, which allowed for evolution of biology through 4 harmonics of matter density. Presently, all but 3 strands remain dormant. Okay, that's 9 levels of consciousness we have yet to embody. What might that be like? If we had co-creative mastery over 12 dimensions of consciousness, if we could travel through 4 harmonics of time and manifest and demanifest at will, that was the original pattern for the angelic human. Indigos are more than that. Okay? So we're striving to regain that 12-strand potential. So the Indigo 2s come in with double that. They come in with a 24 to 30-strand DNA template. And by having that, they put that energy frequency into the Earth grids, it starts to flip over the distortions in the 12-strand pattern and give that 12-strand pattern back to the angelic humans. Okay. Am I going too fast? Okay, just want to make sure. Okay. This is the Diamond Sun 12-strand DNA matrix. This is also what I was calling the crystal gene or the silicate matrix. Each one of these strands represents a level of consciousness, a dimension, a frequency band, a DNA strand. Let me just look at, I had something here I wanted to make sure that I told you about, the seals in the DNA. This is the DNA for the angelic human, and these dots here represents seals in the DNA. I'll take questions afterwards, okay? The seal of Amente and the seal of Pallador. If you want to read more about these seals, they're in Voyagers 2, pages 19 through 21. But basically, the seal of Amente manifested as an energetic block between the physical and the etheric bodies, okay? And the seal of Pallador manifested as a block between the emotional, mental, and the astral identity levels. And there's a lot of information that we can't cover in this period of time. But if you want to know what those seals are, it's very, very detailed. I think it's maybe 5 pages or something like that. Certainly the Freedom Teachings have plenty of detail. Okay. All right. This is what we're striving for towards the restoration of the Diamond Sun DNA matrix, the 12-strand pattern. Our race has experienced excessive genetic digression through tampering by visitors from other worlds. And that could be anything from planetary cataclysms, hybridization programs, which you'll find out that indigos are actually part of a hybridization program now run by the founders' races. But there's been experimentation, war, frequency seals. Our race has been mutated to where we can only embody 3 dimensions of consciousness. So the contemporary indigo children right now are part of a hybridization experiment to reverse mutate the gene code and to give back and restore that Diamond Sun DNA matrix so that we can embody 12 dimensions of consciousness and we can do whatever we want. We can fly. Okay, you can go wherever you want within 4 harmonics of time. Okay, thank you. All right. This one, I recommend everybody take time to study this. It's in the Secrets of the Indigo Children DVD. It is our heritage. It's the earth lineage. Each one of these categories represents a seeding of the human race. These 2 seedings were wiped out. We are in seeding number 3. Okay? Right now, most of the people on the planet are working to evolve strand 4. Okay? In order for us to be here, evolving strand 4, that implies we already have the flashline sequences or the correct patterns for strands 2 and 3. That implies that everybody has Atlantean and Lemurian cellular memory in their DNA. Okay, so, and we move up here to the Movarians, they're evolving strand 5. These are the people that are of the Melchizedek cloister. Okay, as we move up here to the Uinjeki, they're activating and evolving strand 6. But indigos come in with 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 activated. 4 is activated just a little bit, but it's not plugged into 5 and 6. So the indigo children spend from birth to age 12 activating and plugging in strand 4 into 5 and 6, which gives them, at age 12, soul integration. Okay, they're bringing in those frequencies and activating them in their biologies so that they are embodied souls by age 12. The angelic human imprint has soul integration between ages 12 and 22. Okay? Yeah, we can move on to the next one. Oh, okay. This one's awesome. I love this one. There's a lot of information on here. What I'm going to do is actually show you how to read it and cover a little bit of it. Right here we have blue and blue. These are what are called progressive DNA. These are race lines that have their connection to their higher parts, who have the ability to cognate the law of one, and therefore act humanely and compassionate to other life forms. And in the rows here, the black, the digressive DNA, these are beings who purposely made the choice to cut themselves off from that connection to their higher parts. And they have what's called a digressive DNA, and these are called the fallen races. Okay, so what we have here is, to understand Indigo children, you need to understand what's happening here and in the whole drama. Do we not have? Okay, all right. That's okay. Okay, up there at the top, Harmonic Universe 4, we have the Elohai Emerald Order. These are beings that have a 30 to 40 strand DNA template. And they are Elohai avatars. They were created in the Lyra Aramatena system. You see how you read that? You've got the Elohai Emerald Order, then it has the strand content, the name of the DNA matrix, what they're called, and the places that they were seated. Okay, so from Harmonic Universe 3, Harmonic Universe 4, the Elohai Emerald Order created in Harmonic Universe 3 the Lyrian Syrian Anuhazi. When we do the Song of Lyra or we do any of the other songs, we are speaking in the language of Anuhazi. So we are getting back those codes of ascension every time we tone that. Okay, we're bringing in those frequencies. So the Harmonic Universe 3, Lyrian Syrian Anuhazi, came down and made smaller aspects of themselves as the Azurites. Okay, and they had they created all these races here. But when you get to here, the Emerald Order Orpheum, this is where you start to really understand Indigo children, because if you look over in the Black Sun DNA, it's called the Black Sun because they disconnected themselves from Source, and then they took and they reversed those fire letter sequences. The fire letter sequences were not in the right order, and that causes DNA mutation, which manifests in the biology and the consciousness. So they had the consciousness that had nothing to cognate but its own needs. Okay? So this is why they're called the Black Sun DNA. And just a little bit about them is because the fallen seraphim down in Harmonic 3, if you go across to the right, create what are called the Orion winged dracons. A lot of our devil mythology is cellular memory of these winged dracons because they look like dragons with tails and wings. Okay? And what happened was the winged dracons forcefully crossbred with humans and created a strain called the Dracos. These are beings that we're having issues with on the planet. So that's kind of how you read that, and there's a lot more information there. But because of what was going on there, these DNA digressive lines started crossbreeding with the other lines, and they were creating some really highly coded, nasty beings that were coming back to hijack our evolution, to take the 12-strand potential away from us. This is why the Indigo children are here. If we don't have the Indigo children here to give us back a jump start in the gene code, this whole race will lose its 12-strand DNA potential. So the Emerald Order Orpheum was the first race that was created where they took the 12 imprints from the other interstellar races to try and give back the potential to those races that had become so distorted in consciousness that they needed help to get back their ascension codes to where they would get that ability to cognate the law of one again. This is where the Emerald Order Orpheum came in. And then they created smaller selves called the Orpheum, and they created the Teranesium T1s, and they created the Adami Kudman. This is the Adami races, okay? So you come down here in Harmonic Universe 1, you have your 12 tribes. That's your 7 root races and your 5 cloister races. each root race would spend a period of time on the planet evolving one strand of DNA, whereas the cloister races would come in with, they would birth through whatever strand they were evolving, but they also held the potential for 7 to 12 strands of DNA. So the cloister races are what kept that 12-strand potential alive through thousands of years of Earth seedings. Okay, so the indigo children here are the, I'm sorry? Okay, the indigo children here are the return of the Emerald Order. And why is that? Because the indigo children are giving us back the potential to evolve back up into the Adami Kudman imprint, back into the Teranesium 1, back into the Orpheum, and back into the Emerald Order. Okay. Okay. Oh, we are going to do that one. Okay. This was just to give you a real short representation of what the Templar Sun DNA imprint looks like. We're going to be looking at the indigo imprints, but this is what a 11-strand reverse DNA matrix looks like. Take that off. Okay, thank you. This is the double diamond sun 24-strand DNA matrix. This is the DNA matrix of an indigo 2. They have available every time you see an imprint like this, and you count these strands, that each strand represents a level of consciousness. So these beings have the ability to embody their avatar identities and reach up to 24 strands or 24 dimensions of consciousness. So they come in with all of this potential to reset in the planetary grids and flip over the mutations in our DNA templates. Okay. Now, these are for fun. I thought you guys might like this. These are what the original Lyran-Saran Pleiadian Orpheum look like. 12 to 20 feet tall, androgynous, feline, avian, human, land, water, mammal, and they were breatharians. And they're right here. Some Orpheum have pure white head hair resembling long, soft fur. Others are bald or have soft white feathered skulls. Has anybody seen the cover of Angelic Realities? Okay, have you seen it in color? You see the guy that's bald? Yeah, that's what he is, a Lyran-Saran. Okay, we can flip. Thank you, Melissa. This is the Emerald Order Orpheum. The specialized Emerald Order Elohai Orpheum strains appear as large, upright feline hominids with pure white fur covering their bodies. They don't have claws and they don't have tails. The Orpheum felines resemble the white Persian cat species of Earth, and they often overshadow this earthly feline of their genetic association to interact with density 1/4. In other words, to interact with you in this level, this reality field. Okay, this is the Gold Order Seraphi Seraphim. The Seraphi lines is where you get the wings, okay, in any type of race line. Specialized Gold Order Seraphi Seraphim Orpheum closely resemble the eagle and swan avian species of Earth, having smaller eyes, wings, and avian hominid bodies covered with pure white, soft blue-gray, or jet black feathers. I've seen a black and a white swan together, and they're beautiful. Okay, the Amethyst Order Brahmarama Orpheum. The specialized Amethyst Order Brahmarama Orpheum are cetacean, most closely resembling the aquatic dolphin and whale species of Earth. Unlike the bipedal dolphin people of the fallen Anu Elohim, the Orpheum cetaceans do not have arms or legs. And though capable of breathing air or water, they are designed for mobility in fluid, not on land. When we talk about the bipedal dolphin people having arms and legs, I think that's a mutation where they're trying to get back their 12-strand DNA potential. Hi, come on in. Okay, the Orpheum cetaceans are pure white or pale light blue in color and specialize in transmitting the sound tones that hold the scalar wave templates for universal structure and order. So they're not just swimming through the water, you know, as big, huge whales. They're actually transmitting sound tones that are holding those scalar wave templates. Okay, thank you. All right, this is the template of an Indigo 1. It's called the Emerald Sun. It has the potential of 48 strands of DNA. Again, you look at these. If you remember what the Templar Sun looked like, there was 11 strands and there was one missing and it had all those blocks on it. This is what the Emerald Order Orifeme DNA strand template looks like. Okay, it has 48 levels of consciousness. They have the ability to embody the avatar identity and reach up to 48 levels of consciousness. So they can go pull pure information straight from the ecstatic level. Go ahead. Okay, here's where we get into the difference between contemporary humanity and indigo children in the DNA. Here we have the contemporary human that comes in with 3 strands active. See, you've got dimension 1, dimension 2, dimension 3. That's your physical, your emotional, and your mental body. Okay? They're just starting to activate strand 4, which will begin to give them astral awareness. They'll begin to realize that they are more than what they look in the mirror. They'll begin having maybe dream experiences or astral perception or out-of-body projection. When you come down here, they don't even have up here, they don't even have the imprint for the cloister potential, which is that imprint for 7 through 12 strands. Okay, all the cloister races kept that potential alive. Okay, so when we come down here to your Orifeme 24-strand DNA template, you look, we've got mental, we've got physical, emotional, mental, astral, archetype, and soul identity levels. The indigos come in with 6 dimensions of consciousness active in their DNA. This is why you sometimes feel different than other people. And it's okay to be different than other people. And sometimes we spend our whole life wondering, why am I so different? Well, you're different because it's by divine design. You came here with a very specific contract to fulfill. And we're unique. You know, we're not different. We're unique. Okay? And we came here to help the planet to get it through this stellar activation cycle. So we come in with very specific contracts. Okay. Thank you. This is just a visual representation for you to see the difference between an angelic human with the 12-strand DNA, the indigo type 2, and the indigo type 1. Okay. This is our time matrix again. I don't know how many times everybody's seen this one. And basically what I wanted to show you here was right here, see this white star? That's a 12-pointed star here. That is the potential of an angelic human to embody 12 dimensions of consciousness, which is pretty awesome. The potential for an indigo 2 is up there, 24 to 30 strands of DNA in the primal light fields, the Kira frequencies. And as we move up to the energy matrix, up there, that's the Emerald Order, Emerald Sun, and that is a 48-strand DNA template that can reach all the way up to the ecstatic level, which is the first level before source, first level of individuation. Okay, and this is just to show you again, contemporary humanity comes in with the 4th DNA strand blocked at birth, and this causes DNA mutation. And because of that, they cannot fulfill soul integration, over-soul integration, and they cannot do avatar integration. The original design for Earth human was between birth and age 12, you'd have your fetal integration first, right? And then you would bring in the activation of DNA strand 4 through 6 from age 12 to 22. So by age 22, you have soul integration. You have your DNA strand 4, 5, and 6, okay? And then between age 22 and 33, you would activate DNA strands 7 through 9. You would bring in the frequency of those dimensions into embodiment. And your avatar integration would begin at age 33 to 44. And that's where you have transmutational dimensional ascension. That's where you have the ability to, if you don't want the body anymore, you don't have to keep it, but it doesn't die anymore because you have the ability to transmute it. When we come down here to the indigo human hybrids, this is where they come in with strand 5 and 6 and part of 4 at birth. Okay, so they have all those dimensions of consciousness. They have twice the consciousness of an angelic human, basically. Okay, they begin their soul integration at birth and they finish at age 12. How many teenagers do you know that are going through what they call puberty? This is a whole new way to look at that issue. Because maybe it's because the frequencies are blocked in their DNA, and that's why they have all those hormonal issues. If the DNA was working right, they would naturally bring in those consciousness. An indigo teenager would be a soul integrated person by age 12. An oversoul by age 22, and by age 33, they would have the choice of whether or not they wanted to stay in the time matrix. Okay. All right. Okay. This is when we get into indigo type 3s. Indigo type 3s have a very specific contract, a very high contract. Okay? What an indigo 3 is, I'll just read this here for you so you see this. Attention deficit disorder is a polarity imbalance found in indigo 3s. Indigo 3s have an orifeme soul. Remember, that's the soul that has a 24 to 30 strand at least capacity. Okay? And assisting a Nephilim soul, which has an 11 strand reverse DNA template, to re-evolve to the 12 strand DNA potential, and they're sharing the same body. Okay? So you have two diametrically opposed flashline sequences in one body. This is what these children are. These children who are experiencing attention deficit disorder or bipolar disorder or sometimes even schizophrenia. These are children that are trying to balance these polarities within themselves to give the Nephilim a new evolutionary race option, okay, or race evolutionary option to where they can get that 12-strand potential back, okay? And the indigo 3s, and actually any indigo, can be assisted by Cathara healing. That's one of the main reasons Cathara healing was here, was to assist this orifeme soul, to help the Nephilim soul to balance those polarities. It's also here because when you come in as an indigo, anybody comes into a fetal pattern, you've got the fetal pattern that you hit right away of mom and dad. Well, mom and dad probably carry some distortions, so you pick up those distortions no matter how high your coding is when you come in, no matter how intact your coding is when you come in. As soon as you hit that fetal pattern, you've got distortions. And you cannot continue with soul integration until you clear those distortions that you picked up from the genetic code from your mom and dad. That's one of the reasons Cathara healing was introduced in the beginning. We all know there's other reasons for Cathara healing now, but in the beginning it was theirs to assist indigo children to rapidly clear the fetal pattern from mom and dad and activate their strands of DNA. So that's why Cathara healing is here. And any type of controlled breathing exercises, toning of the Maharata song or the Rishi invocation. It says meditation techniques, but I would recommend journeys, that the Azurite Press has, and healthful organic food, chemical-free foods. All of that overstimulates the body, and they're working so hard to balance those polarities within themselves, they don't need any more overstimulation. Okay. Okay. I just want to say this is not an official diagram from Ashana. Okay, this is just a representation that I put together for you to see the difference. Okay, here we have the Orifeme 24-strand imprint assisting this DNA imprint of the Nephilim to evolve back to this. Okay, the Orifeme, just a minute, it's okay. The Orifeme imprint is the only level of coding that wouldn't get reversed by being combined with the reversed 11-strand DNA pattern. Okay, the Orifeme coding begins to reverse mutate the fire letter distortions in the Nephilim imprint. So this beautiful rainbow 24-pointed star begins to reverse mutate all that stuff over there, and they begin to embody this. That is the supposed to be the race evolutionary option the Indigo 3s are offering to the Nephilim. Okay. Oh. Okay. We're going to have somebody sing in just a few minutes here because I'm not doing it. But the birth wave of the Indigo children represents the return of the Emerald Order. Okay? The ancient elder race Orifeme returned to Earth to fulfill the Emerald Covenant, an agreement made 248,000 years ago that promised Earth humans assistance in re-evolving to the 12-strand DNA Diamond Sun DNA matrix. So this is a promise. The Indigo children are here fulfilling a promise that we would make sure that this 12-strand DNA matrix was reinstated in the earth grids, and that we could begin to have the angelic human race begin to transmute their biology and get out of the time matrix. We have been stuck in time for a very long time, and the return of the Emerald Order is giving us back that 12-strand DNA potential. Okay, how am I doing on time? Good. Okay. No, you're not getting away with that. You got to come up here and sing. Melissa's going to sing something for us.
It's just here, these 4 lines are from, I had put The Real Christmas Story to music about a year ago, and the introduction of the prologue talks about the promise that the founders had made, that they would bring truth and beauty back to us and help us find our way back home. Essentially bring the freedom teachings back and help us get free and go home. So, we made you a promise that we'd not forget you. We'd help you remember what you came here to do. We'd bring truth and beauty, no more reason to roam. The doors now are open, you're free and can come home. The doors now are open, you're free and can come home.
No problem. So I just wanted to go over a little bit. Just wanted to go over just a little bit of recap. I went through this really fast, specifically because feeling the consciousness wave in the room, and it seems like it was okay. But I also want to make sure that we have time to go on a journey. We're going to go on a journey where you can begin to reclaim that indigo within. If you're sitting in this class and you're going, well, I still don't know if I'm an indigo, that's okay. You don't have to find out today. But the journey that we take you on today will help you reclaim that aspect of yourself. And then you can keep that aspect of yourself with you. You can call it whenever you want. You can breathe in its frequency, and it will help you to integrate strands 4, 5, and 6 more rapidly. So before we move into this, I just want to recap a couple of things. The type 1 indigos have 30 to 48 strand DNA templates. Okay? They are composites. They come in through what is called a walk-in process. They come in as a walk-in process because they have such a high strand template, their frequency oscillates so high that for them to come into a fetal pattern, they would blow it apart. So what they do is they have a soul agreement with another one that is part of their own family of consciousness. Okay? And in this soul agreement, one agrees that they're going to come in with a lower frequency, they're going to raise that fetal pattern to the point where the other level of themselves could come in. The one that came in at first gets to go into ascension, which is kind of nice. And then the second one comes in and puts its fire letter sequences and all its DNA coding into that body. And then it begins to walk through its path, whatever that path would be. Another thing that I wanted to say about indigo children is it's kind of funny because indigo children really are extraterrestrials. Okay? And if you're like me, you have parents that don't believe in that. But the funny thing about that is that in order for you to be born as an indigo child, your parents had something called a Palladorian birthing agreement. Okay, this is an agreement made, on higher levels, usually the Rishi level, where they agreed to have guardian race ET contact, or guardian race contact. I don't really like calling the guardians ETs. They agreed to have this contact, to have their DNA accelerated, so that you could be born. Okay? That is something that a lot of people don't realize. And then what happens is mom and dad's DNA got accelerated. All of a sudden, mom and dad are changing too. Because you're changing your family. You've birthed through them, and now you're embodying a frequency that's helping them to activate their DNA as well. Okay? And the type 1 indigos are here with a specific contract to stop pole shift. Okay? And they can do that because they can reach up to the ecstatic level of frequency, which is the first individuation from source. They can pull very, very pure frequencies. They run them through their DNA templates into the earth grids, and they begin to reset that pattern. Okay. The type 2 indigos are called the indigo dominants, and they have the 24 to 30 strand DNA potential. They come in with, some of them have accelerated psychic development. Some of them have linguistic or artistic abilities. Some of them have open interdimensional contact from birth with guardian races. And they're also here to assist in planetary grid work, but they're here assisting the Indigo Ones. The Indigo Ones' primary contract is grid work, planetary shields clinics, and sometimes they're more they like to keep to themselves. They don't want to go out and they don't want to socialize. They want to come and they want to do what they did, and they want to go back to what they remember is a corrected reality system where it doesn't work like it works down here. Okay, and the type 3 indigos, as we talked about, it's a very high contract, a very very esteemed contract. And they're assisting the Nephilim races to get back that 12-strand potential. They're the ones that are targeted by the ADD drug campaigns. It's like there was a false set of symptoms or criteria that was set up, that if this person displays this type of behavior, okay, then they have to go to like the psychologist, or they go to the counselor at school who then sends them to a psychologist, and the psychologist says, you have this, you need this drug, but really and truly what that drug does, I know people who have children who have ADD, and they say that the drugs make them controllable, that they can handle their children. But what those symptoms are is that they're having difficulty activating that 6th strand of DNA. So when you give them drug therapy, whether it's Ritalin or Cylert or whatever it is these days, it's suppressing that 6th strand DNA activation. That's why they're more controllable. And they're not going to be able to come here to fulfill their contract if they're given these drugs. Okay? So they come in with very, very extreme polarity issues. They're actually balancing the polarities of the universe within one body. And you take a little 6-year-old child, I mean, how old are we all here? And we're still trying to get it. We're still trying to understand the levels of frequency and consciousness that are available to us. And these children, they have an Orpheum with 24 to 30 strand DNA template and a Nephilim that has an 11 strand reverse. And so you've got angel and devil in one body, and they're 6 years old and they're trying to balance that. We're still trying to understand it. So we need to have more compassion. We need to help them with the Maharic seal, or if you can get an indigo children into a Maharic coding process, it'll give the Nephilim a boost. I mean, it won't give the Nephilim a boost. We don't want to do that. I misspoke. It'll give the Orpheum a boost, okay? And it'll help that Orpheum to get more control, because the Nephilim cannot come in unless they agree to be in subservience to this Orpheum soul. And what's happened, through a lot of planetary cataclysms, a lot of things that are going on a planetary level, the Nephilim were trying to take over the Orpheum. So this is why Maharic coding process, Kathara healing, will help these children tremendously. And it's really hard to get them to focus, I know, to get them to lay on a table and do a Maharic coding process. But you can just activate your shields, and you can send a spark from your shield to their shield, if it's your own child. You have permission, obviously. If it's not your own child, then you really have to get permission, and you can help that avatar to bring that pillar up for that child and begin bringing those frequencies in. Okay. I have a few minutes. We can take some questions if anybody has some. Yes? Well, it doesn't really have to do with the indigos. It kind of does. What I would do is direct you to where you could find the information directly from the CDT plates, and that would be the Bermuda workshop of July 2002. Is that what it was? Yeah, July 2002. Okay. Yes?
I have a 15-year-old who is going to be taking these. He himself asked to be put on that, and then asked to be taken off. And he said, I don't want to. He's conscious enough to go back. He's, very, very, very concerned on that today. I don't want to
are you getting permission from his avatar, as Rishi?
I am, and I'm asking, but I
Uh-huh.
want him to take responsibility for himself, so I don't, that's where I am now. This really affirms what I've always thought.
Well, the thing is that if you're asking Avatar permission and you're still getting permission to do it, and and his Avatar isn't saying, no, it's time for self-responsibility, or your son says by himself, you know what, maybe it's my responsibility to do this. I still send the shield to my children when they're too tired to do the Maharic seal. I stand in their room, I do my energy exercises, and I send a spark to their shield. But, if one of their avatars said, well, you know what, not tonight, I always listen to that higher guidance, because we don't know what's going on inside those little bodies. Only they do. So, yes. Well, does she do the Maharic seal? Well, there's a lot of things going on a planetary level. It could be anything, and without having permission to even look at her fields, I would never even attempt to do that, particularly in an environment like this. But if you know how to do the Maharic seal, just contact her avatar and ask. For you to do that. I wouldn't randomly go ask people, unless you know that they have got permission from her avatar. Anybody else have any questions? Is everybody ready to journey to find your indigo within? Okay, that's it. Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Hello? Okay. We're going to have just a short delay. We're not having any microphone. Does it have anything to do with these switches over here? Is it on now? So we're going to go on a journey, and we're going to find our indigo within. Okay? So So we're all current with our phoning home sequence. So let's reconnect with our Maharic shield. Use whatever hierophant that you use and picture it in your pineal gland. Make it as strong as you can. Inhale to grab it and exhale it down to the earth core. Take a few breaths at the earth core, breathing in the frequency from the planetary Maharic shield. Breathe it in and exhale it into your hierophant in the center of the Maharic shield. And just take a few minutes to really feel that frequency. Just breathe it in. And while you're doing that, try to slow your breathing. Okay. Now inhale that up to your Maharic shield and pop your pillar. And just take a few minutes to breathe in the frequency from your pillar. Breathe it into your body cells. Picture yourself as a pale silver light being. Picture yourself as your avatar identity. Okay. So now we're going to go on a journey to find our Syrian selves, the beginning of our indigo selves, our sixth strand selves, our sixth-dimensional awareness. We are going to find our blue selves, our Syrian blue within. To find that self, we're going to have to go backward in time and forward in time. So keep your eyes closed and enjoy the journey. Once upon a time, long, long ago, there was a place where there were two suns. A place that looked like Earth, but it had two suns in the skies instead of one. And in the evenings, which happened once about every 6 or 7 days in our scale, there were beautiful purple sunsets. Try to remember or visualize, if you can't remember, beautiful purple sunsets and two suns. Somewhere each of you has been there. To get here, you had to pass through. It is the domain of your Syrian self, your Azurite self, your indigo self, that resided within the systems of harmonic 2. That self of you exists in a different space-time coordinate, but time is simultaneous. It all happens at once. It just appears to be separate. Right now, there is a part of you that exists right now in harmonic 2. A part of you that is an Azurite. A part of you that is a blue Syrian being of great beauty, of great awareness, of great love, compassion, and magnitude. Just take a minute to feel what that's like. You're a beautiful blue being with six-dimensional consciousness available to you, with love and compassion, magnitude. Now you can begin to sense that part of yourself by imagining that someone is standing behind you. Now remember, we reconnected with our Maharic shield, so you don't have to worry about anything coming into your fields that isn't you. Try to feel the presence of energy that's a bit taller than you, standing behind you. Since you're sitting, feel it standing as if it has its gentle hands on your shoulders. Try to sense and feel what that's like, to feel your Syrian blue standing behind you with its hands resting gently on your shoulders. Let this image stand for the part of your consciousness that is stationed in the sixth dimension. It contains within it the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional energies of your consciousness. It connects you to a different place in space-time that you passed through once and you will pass through again. If you ascend the slow way, and don't go so fast you just turn into a light and miss all the scenery. Feel your Syrian self behind you, Feel for a moment and visualize this two-dimensional energy field like a cutout of energy standing behind you as a beautiful blue color. It is blue with purple swirling through it, like a blue-violet color. It has some flickers of lighter blue and a little bit of green, but mostly it has the blue-violet, the signature of the indigo energy field. The way indigos are born at birth, they come in with this six-strand active. Try to feel the presence now of your indigo self, your Syrian self, your D6 consciousness. Feel it embracing you. Feel it gently putting its arms around you from behind. Try to feel its energy running across your chest as if it were arms running across your chest from behind. Telepathically say to your D6 consciousness, I would like to integrate now and become whole. You are me, and I am you. And the images are just illusions. In giving this command, you are not integrating with something that is not you. You are integrating with a part of yourself you had to leave in incarnation, in harmonic 2, to get to harmonic 1. For you see, the stellar beings are us on higher harmonics. We are not separate, even though our biologies are different. We are just different manifestations of the same consciousness, stepping down through matter density. The Syrian self, the Syrian blue in all of us, can begin awakening the sixth-dimensional consciousness and expedite soul integration very quickly. So just feel your D6 consciousness for a few moments. Imagine now that your indigo self has let go and has walked around in front of you. Keep your eyes closed and try to feel its presence standing in front of you as you sit in your chair. Breathe in for a moment and then gently exhale your energy and your awareness toward the indigo self standing before you. Try to spread your consciousness out within it. It is you. It's a part of you. Try to feel its presence and its wisdom. Next, imagine that the indigo self in front of you turns around, facing the same direction you are in, and then it sits down and sits with you in your body. It is only you, nothing else. Nothing else will be permitted to enter your fields, only what is you. Try to feel the reality of your sixth-dimensional consciousness awake in your body. Imagine the vibration and color of blue-violet running like little electric bursts of energy through all of your cells. Little bursts of energy that may feel like little tiny shocks inside of the cells that feel good. Take a moment to feel the sensation of this part of yourself, For just as on the fourth dimension you have your astral body level, and you have on the fifth dimension your archetype identity level. On the sixth dimension, part of your anatomy is your cerulean blue level of consciousness. It is part of your own anatomy. Feel what that's like to have this sixth-dimensional consciousness with you and awake in your body. This is your Syrian blue or your indigo self. Now imagine for a moment that your attention is stationed at the center of the pineal gland in the middle of your brain. And you and your indigo self are still sitting in your body. Imagine a large indigo flame of blue-violet light emerges at the pineal. Try to feel the ripples of its wave spectra, its frequency running through the cells and down the body. Visualize the cells in the body begin to take on the blue-violet hue. Now we're going to inhale, and on the exhale we're going to push the blue-violet flame outward around us as if we are sitting within it. Imagine this large blue-violet flame is all around you, and your body and your pillar of light extends all the way up through the universe, through it, and down into the earth's core. Feel the energy of the blue-violet flame around you, and begin to breathe the frequency in. On each inhale, bring energy from the flame into your heart chakra. On each exhale, expand the energy you pulled in from the flame throughout your body. And you can continue doing this breathing while I read to you what you're doing. What you're doing is bringing in the sixth dimensional frequency into your bioenergetic field at the fourth dimensional level. You are expediting activation of strands 4, 5, and 6. You are bringing in more of the consciousness of your Syrian blue indigo self. Every breath you take while stationed in the blue-violet flame and expand into the heart chakra and through the body will further bring those frequencies into the astral body. That will filter down into the mental body at D3, the emotional body at D2, and into the physical body structure at D1 through the DNA. You can use this simple technique of joining with your Syrian self, bringing in the sixth dimensional consciousness by sitting in the blue flame and breathing it into your heart chakra and expanding it into your body to more and more bring those frequencies in. You may find tears come as great releases happen, for there is much pain stored between your three-dimensional consciousness and your sixth dimensional consciousness. As you bring in the healing frequencies of the sixth dimension, you will begin to shake loose those disharmonic patterns and set them back to the patterns of joy, which are the natural heritage of DNA that works properly and flashline sequences that are in order. Your Christed imprint begins with integrating the soul. As you merge and regain your oneness with your Syrian self, your Syrian substrand DNA imprint, you will begin the completion of the soul integration process. Once that is done, your Lyran self will be next. First, find your Syrian self, your indigo child within. Remember that you have one, for it is this part of you more than anything else that will help you understand indigo children, why they're here and what you can do for them. You will find sixth-dimensional consciousness opening in you, and you will be the ones that can understand precious children born with sixth-dimensional consciousness available to them. If you take home with you the memory that you have a sixth-dimensional self, and take home and practice every morning before you wake up, even before you open your eyes, simply breathe in a little bit from the blue-violet flame around you, and just energize your body with it. It doesn't take long. It's best before you open your eyes and make that transition. And it can help you remember your dreams too. At night before you retire, put yourself back into the blue-violet flame like a sleeping bag. Tuck yourself into it. Every breath you take as you go to sleep will pull energy from the blue-violet flame into your cells to help you complete the soul integration process, activating strands 4, 5, and 6 more rapidly. Take this with you, and after 6 months you will be amazed at what you have learned and how you have grown. We suggest keeping a notebook, tracking some of the things that come to you. Write it down. It is worth remembering. It's worth looking back on and saying, wow, look how much my consciousness has grown. Then you will start to understand what the indigo children need. The processes that you will learn that take you to those spaces are the processes that will awaken them in their highest light. They will give great rewards in return in their presence here and all that they will bring and teach. You can keep your Syrian self with you right now, or, if you like, you can release it. See it go up as a spark of light, and that will put the body back to its own station. But, if you want it as company, let it stay with you for a while. You can separate it and put it out in your astral field and talk to it as if it is somebody separate, because it's a part of you that you forgot you had. You might as well treat it as a new acquaintance. It remembers you more than you remember it. You can keep it inside and get the warm, fuzzy feeling. Or you can say, I've had enough, I'll talk to you later. So very slowly begin to come back into the room with your consciousness and realize the power of the tool of using the blue-violet flame and integrating your 6 dimensions of consciousness. It is your heritage, and it is just the beginning of your heritage. Reclaim it while the opportunity is here to do so. So it may be here for many generations to come. For if you don't reclaim it, it will be lost for many millennia. Imagine as we come out of this meditation, a pillar of blue-violet light extending from way down in the earth's core, spiraling up, 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 upward into the universe, through harmonic 1 and into harmonic 2. There, it connects through Tara, Earth's counterpart there, into a planet called Sirius B. This is a portal passage that only indigos and higher can go through. It is the third eye of Horus. Whether you stay here for many years in a body and walk through a stargate, or whether you go through the normal path of dropping the body in death and going as consciousness, you can ascend this time. It is the Sirius B indigo blue-violet pillar of light that you will take from here upward into the sixth dimensional fields. Remember these images and play with them, and they will call to you because they are your home. It is how you came, and it is how you will return. So play with these exercises. Find yourselves. Remember. It is remembering there is no overwhelm here at the sixth dimensional stage of consciousness. Feel the peace now in the room. There's no overwhelm. No, oh, look at all that information. Your Syrian self understands about the indigos and about the history. It knows all that stuff already. So it doesn't have to react to overkill of knowing too much, too fast. If you feel overwhelmed in these days and years to come, bring your Syrian self into your body, because it will harmonize that. You will go into the space of, oh, of course, I understand. And you will relax the emotional body. So bring yourself slowly, bring your consciousness back into the room slowly. Okay. If you play with these images, you can start to bring these frequencies into your body. Okay. When I began this presentation, I decided I would play with this violet flame, this blue-violet flame. And that's when the presentation went from just being black and white to going to color. Because the colors and the frequencies. These are the colors that speak to the indigo DNA. The indigo and the blue-green are the levels that talk to your DNA. So we're going to close with the vow to the I Am. Before we close, does anybody have any questions? I went through this kind of fast. I want to make sure that everybody has their questions answered. No questions? Okay.
Yes, there was one.
There is a question.
Initially you said that the Indigo 2 was on the field 5 level.
Yes, harmonic universe 5, yes.
But nothing is mentioned on the Indigo 3, what level, what field they are on.
Well, that's because they're a combination of an Orifeme, okay, that's a 24 to 30 strand DNA template, which would be at Hue 5 or harmonic universe 5, and then the 11 strand reverse DNA template, so they're actually not even at 12 dimensions of consciousness. Okay, does that help? Okay. All right, so we're going to do the vow to the I Am. Again, this is one of the guardian wishes that we close with the vow to the I Am. I apologize for not having it for yours. Okay. All right, so if we can all just say this at the same time, we'll create a really nice group feel. I am a child of the original one. I am a ray of the original sun. I am wholeness. I am love. I am the truth that spans the sands of time. I am the rainbow of the very first shine. I am music. I am light. Let the light descend upon me. Guide the way with the golden light. No other God will stand before me. As I embrace the one true life I was born to live, by the will of the original one. I am a face of the original God. I am a voice of the original sound. I am a wave upon the ocean of eternal light. I reach my arms up to the heavens and say, I am this I am. The presence of the Ancient One springs forth at my command. I am one with God. I am this I am. And as I decree it, so it is. Taeja inta doe. Taeja inta doe. Taeja inta doe. Would anybody like to hear Melissa sing that?
I wasn't expecting this one. You can all join me if you want. I am a child of the original one. I am a ray of the original sun. I am a wholeness. I am love. I am the truth that spans the sands of time. I am the rainbow of the very first shine. I am music. I am light. Let the light descend upon me. Guide the way with golden light. No other God will stand before me as I embrace the one true life I was born to live by the will of the original one. I am a face of the original God. I am a voice of the original sound. I am a wave upon the ocean of eternal light. I reach my arms up to the heavens and sing, I am this I am. The presence of the Ancient One springs forth at my command. I am one with God. I am this I am. And as I decree it, so it is.
Taeja inta doe. Taeja inta doe. Taeja inta doe. There's been a couple of people that have requested handouts. I'm not real sure how that's going to be handled. There is a color handout for the Indigo children. You're welcome to look through. If that's something that you would like to purchase, that can probably be taken care of. And you had a textual handout, right?
No, well, they haven't decided how they're going to what exactly is going to go into the product.
Okay. All right. So I don't know if that's anything you can get this weekend. But there, you can probably talk to Mac and let her know that you're interested in it. You're certainly welcome to come and look through the Indigo Children one that I have here. And I hope that you all remember, and even though we're working with the Litori Flames and the Adore Flames and all these advanced levels of Kathara, we still have our Indigo selves that can help us. Okay? If you're in the workshop this weekend, and we all know there's going to be a lot of intense information, remember the blue-violet flame. Put it in your pineal gland, expand it out around you, and breathe in those frequencies. You may not get it right away, but it'll help you understand it. And you won't go into that overwhelmed feeling like, oh God, I don't understand it, I'm getting lost. Because when you start to get into that type of frequency, you're actually blocking the flow of the information. So just remember this blue-violet flame and breathe it in. God bless you. Okay, and there are no questions. We finished a little early, so if you had questions, we have time for it. Otherwise, you're welcome to take your leave. Thank you.